Hi guys. Today we are talking about water. So we're largely made up of water, about 70% made up of water. So kind of understandably it's going to be a big part of our intake. Food and water are the basic things that we need. So when it comes to water and weight loss, there's a couple things that should be noted. So water is actually necessary to burn fat. Without water, our body cannot properly metabolize stored fats and carbohydrates. The process that metabolizes fat is called lipolysis. The first step in that process is hydrolysis, which occurs when water molecules interact with triglycerides, which are fats, to create glycerol and fatty acids. That's that process. So drinking enough water is essential for those processes to happen, which results in burning off of fat from food and drinking, as well as fat that's stored. Water is essential in order to help remove waste from the body. So when your body is dehydrated, it can't correctly remove the urine or feces that have to get out. So when you don't drink enough water, your body can end up getting constipated. Drinking enough water helps everything kind of move along. It also helps your body recover from digestive problems such as like indigestion or diarrhea. And then water also helps the kidneys to filter out toxins and waste. And then when your body's dehydrated, your kidney ends up actually retaining fluid. And when that happens, you end up being bloated, kind of feeling swollen and tired, and bloating also adds inches to your waistline, which can be frustrating when you're trying to lose weight. A tip with water, obviously it doesn't have flavor. There are lots of different flavored waters that have no sugar, no carbs, all those things. So those can be helpful if you want something that's maybe got a little bit of flavor, but you still don't want to be drinking like juice or soda that has all the extra sugar in it. So flavored water is a good thing. One of my favorite tips to recommend is if you're trying to, if you're trying to eat less calories, which ultimately calories in versus calories out is how you're going to lose weight. So if you're trying to get to that point, carbonated waters is a really good suggestion for that, because the carbonation actually fills up your stomach a little bit more with the gases, and it can fill you out more than, so that would ultimately make you feel less hungry. Kind of helps to suppress your appetite. So that's a good little trick if you're trying to, be able to manage your calories in a little bit better. And then on the flip side, let's talk about dehydration for just a second. So when your body's dehydrated, obviously you're not getting enough water or fluids in your body, so your body starts to shut down. When you are experiencing just mild levels of dehydration, people that are exercising and things like that will experience, decrease in performance when it comes to endurance. They're going to feel more fatigued. They're going to have less motivation. They're going to be feeling like they're putting out more effort than they're actually doing. Obviously, if you're feeling any of those things, try to focus on your water and upping your intake of water. Also, if you're dehydrated and then you try to go the other way and you rehydrate yourself and drink a lot of water, that can also reduce some oxidative stress that can be induced by exercising and dehydration. Also, if you're mildly dehydrated, it can disrupt your mood. It can change your mood and cognitive functioning as well in some cases. When it comes to concentration, that can be decreased. Alertness, short-term memory, all those things can be affected by dehydration. And then if you're consistently dehydrated, you experience a pretty significant elevation in your mood, fatigue, and also things like feeling angry or feeling confused. Things like that can also significantly increase if you have been consistently dehydrated, mildly dehydrated even, for a period of time. And then last thing that is pretty common, I feel like probably one of the most common symptoms of dehydration is headache. I know that getting headaches for me is pretty rare, and usually if I do get a headache, that's my first thing is to, okay, I don't remember how much water have I drank today. Have I drank enough water? Like, so that's usually the first thought in my head because I generally don't get headaches. And so when I do get a headache, that's almost always my first thing is let me go drink like 4 glasses of water, and almost always it goes away. So if you experience a headache and you're not really sure why you may be having that headache, just try to drink, a couple glasses of water, because that may be the reason why you're getting a headache. And when you are mildly dehydrated, sometimes you won't even know you're dehydrated. You won't even, you don't feel tired enough, or you don't have significant symptoms you don't have dry mouth or things like that where you're like, oh, I must be dehydrated. But sometimes you'll get symptoms like a headache or just tiredness or changes in mood and things like that, and you may not know what it's from, but you're also not really aware that you may be dehydrated. So drinking enough water is extremely important, not only for your body's functions, but for your brain's functions as well, and your mood. So let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you guys learned something.